In this video, I'm going to share with you a lesson that I wish I learned a lot sooner that probably would have made me at least a few $100,000 more than I have by now. So it's something that I wish I learned a lot sooner and then took action on a lot sooner as well. And the topic of this video is going to be around leverage. So if you're not quite at the stage, like if you're just a total beginner, this video is probably not for you. But if you're like an established coach already, you've got a bunch of clients, you've been making sales, right? Maybe you're doing like 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K a month, something like that. And you've been stuck kind of around the same spot for the last few months and you haven't grown and you've hit a plateau. This video is probably going to answer the question of like, what the hell am I doing wrong? So as you can see right here, Juan, he just started working with me about 3-4 weeks ago when he was doing like 10K a month. And he's got a really cool offer. But anyways, what we did is last week we brought in a closer because he absolutely packed out his calendar and he had like 6 or 7 sales calls every single day. And he's booked out like at least a week in advance. So we just hired a closer and he just closed a prospect without him being there for the first time. Finally feeling like an actual business owner, right? And a lot of coaches stay stuck. Like, look how happy he is right now. Look at him. Look at that big smile, right? There's Juan's closer right on the call. So I think Juan might have been popping in there as well. I don't know, but, or maybe watching the recording. I don't know, but nonetheless, he did it. So that's one form of leverage, right? Get other people to do the thing for you. So now Juan literally made money without him having to be there, which is a beautiful sight to see, right? And you've probably seen this before if you've watched my channel for a little while. If you haven't, I'm Jeremy. I help online coaches scale. So my main program, Scale, I got a full video breakdown pinned to my YouTube channel. Go watch that if you want to learn more. But essentially I help coaches make the leap from a freelancer to an actual business owner, where those are stuck around like 5 to 30K a month, want to get to 100K a month above and sustain it. So I help them pretty much implement the exact same thing that I did to scale from 0 to $217,000 a month in my first 8 months, the brand new online coaching business. So nonetheless, how do we make this leap from freelancer to business owner? Really what it comes down to is leverage. And I'm going to use a couple different diagrams like the scaling funnel like that, and then also just a simplified version of it to show you kind of like how to do this for your entire business. So as you can see, like the main difference between here is like you're stuck as an operator. You're doing everything in your business. You're wearing all the hats and you're probably running around like a headless chicken, putting fires out left, right, and center, which means that you're no better than an organic marketing coach who tells people that they're going to help you scale and then just teaches you organic and tells you to send more cold DMs, right? Those guys are the scum of the earth. Same with people who let their egos get in the way and let them stay stuck here forever and ever. Amen. Right? So we don't want to do that, right? If you're watching this channel, if you're watching my channel and you support me and you like my videos, you comment on them, I want to help you make this transition. So it means the world to me and I have a lot of love and respect for you guys. So thank you for all your support. But nonetheless, how do we make this transition from inconsistent, unstable to business owner? Well, it comes down to leverage, like we said, right? Lee added leverage into his business just like 3-4 months ago. He was making $1,000 a month with his music production coaching business. And now just yesterday, best week in business ever, $12,000 in the past 7 days or past 5 days, I guess. $8,000 collected yesterday on Friday. He's at $16,000 for the month, halfway through. I'm recording this video on November 18th. So I think it's going to be probably released in like a week or two. But current return on ad spend, 10x. This is leverage right here, right? Before he was relying on organic. He was stuck in the organic grind, didn't know what the hell he was doing. It sucked. He was like kind of around here. What we did is we launched ads, right? If you look at this simplified funnel overview, you got your top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. And then I'm also going to talk about like the back end service delivery too, and how to kind of add leverage there. But essentially he had a traffic problem when he came to me. He just not enough of the right people with money knew about him. So we solved that by automating that with ads. Automation is a form of leverage because all leverage is basically like you're getting more output with like the same input or less input. That's kind of the way I view it. It's like, how can I put like a little bit of effort in one time where it's kind of one and done and evergreen, and then, oh, you can't even see that. And then get a lot more output for the same amount of time, energy, and effort, right? So that's really all it is. So what we do is we test ads until we find the winners, and then we scale the piss out of them. And then now you literally, it's one and done. You find the winning ad angles to get people with money into the top of your funnel. And then you never really have to think about it again. Now all Lee has to do is just increase his ad spend. He's only been spending $50 a day, right? So that's like what, 50 times 30 days. It's like $1,500 a month. Boom, right? 16K, not bad. So that said, that's a form of leverage, automation, right? One of the big things that I cover in my program too, that I help my clients build out, is leverage in their middle of the funnel. So warming up, like now we got eyeballs, we got the right people with money that have a problem and urgency. Now we got to warm them up, nurture them so they know, like, and trust you, because we only do business with people we know, like, and trust. So how do we do that? Automation with content, sales assets, more specifically. So when you build assets that do the selling for you while you're sleeping, while you're taking a little honey out for dinner and then taking her to church in the morning, and you're making money, that's a beautiful, beautiful feeling. Let me tell you that for free. And delegation is the other thing, right? So up here, right here, Mario shouted out Daniel, who is my new client success manager. So I hit a bottleneck when I was scaling. I hit $200,000 a month, and it was just me. It was just me, and I had one appointment setter on the front end. That was it. So I was doing everything on the back end. So I was signing like 1 or 2 clients a day. And the program was like 8K at that point. So that's when I raised it to 10 because I just couldn't handle it anymore. And so anyways, Daniel's on the team. He's absolutely crushing. He's sold over $1 million on Zoom calls himself of online coaching. He's been head of client success for 2 different programs. He's led multiple 7-figure sales teams. He's an absolute weapon. And he's helping my clients get really good results, and they love him. And I don't have to be involved as much, which means I can focus on the business instead of being so like tied up in it, which is a beautiful feeling, right? Because when you have high level talent that can actually do the job as good as or even better than you, Daniel's way better than me at a lot of different things. So when like you have a team that can do things better than you, it's incredible, because that means that you can start to, like, even as their client, I'll have to update this funnel, but like the simplified version. But if we look at like the main one, client success manager right here, right? You're you're delegating that. You automate your delivery with a course and a community, and then you start to delegate the coaching calls, right? So now Daniel and I have group chats, like 3-way group chats with our clients, and when they need help and they get support, they get both of our opinions, right? Daniel can like review sales calls. He can help people dial in their offer, their personal branding, like mindset. It's incredible. So that was my bottleneck when I was scaling. I was signing way too many clients because I had way too many leads coming in. My sales assets were way too good, and my setter was really good. And like, I'm a pretty deadly closer, but I don't even have to sell. Like I don't sell, I don't close. I don't have sales calls. I have enrollment calls. So yeah, when you're ready to pay, then you book in a call. Until then, keep being broke and keep staying stuck. And then when you're ready to change, let me help you. But nonetheless, the top of the funnel, or like the front end of my funnel, was so good that it broke my back end, right? I kind of hit capacity as like basically a one-man show at around 200K a month. So I pumped the brakes. I was like, all right, I got to build some things. So I hired one guy who used to be Alex Hormozi's biggest portfolio company's second like right-hand man, and head of client success for like thousands and thousands of students. So he's helping me kind of rebuild the course, the community, coaching calls, that whole system. And then we're integrating Daniel into that as well as me, right? So then this is going to be just an absolute disgusting machine. And like, as you can see in the wins channel, it is. This is just from yesterday, right? Sean, $9,000 a week. He used to do that in 2 weeks. So it doubled his business. He's going to have a record month. We've been working together since September. It's been 2 months. Luke, he was doing around, I think anywhere from like 10 to 30K, 10 to 20K maybe a few months ago. And now this week we crossed 55,000 euros. It's only halfway through November. So this is for the month so far. It's the 18th today. So this was on the 17th when he posted this. So he's probably going to do, well, he's on track to do 100 grand this month, which is really cool because he's added leverage. Juan, same thing, right? That's how you scale. The way you scale is by adding leverage to your business. Oscar, you just signed a $3,000 client while traveling, living life, and like not really doing a whole lot of work. Pretty cool. Alvin, setter's killing it, right? His first day, he booked 2 sales calls. Boom. Steven, he just signed a $7,500 client. He's got contracts out for 37K. He gave verbal yeses. He's got a really interesting sales process, but like same kind of thing. He just has so much leverage on the front end. Now he's gonna break his back end pretty soon. Sounds a little dirty, but take your head out of the gutter, guys. Come on, we're professional here. But anyways, like he's actually got this pretty dialed in right now, but we're kind of focusing on the community a little bit and like adding some calls to eliminate some like one-on-one support requests and whatnot. But essentially, I wish I learned this a lot sooner, because then that would help me make this leap and like sustain like 200 plus a lot more. Like I've dropped down intentionally. I pumped the brakes because I can't sustain that with the standard of client results that I want, that I set for myself. So I pump the brakes a little bit, focus on the back end, repair things, patch the holes, and then scale the hell out of this probably within the next 2 to 3 months. So that's how business works. It comes and goes in seasons and cycles, right? So it kind of looks like this. First month I did 50K and then dropped back down to like 20 to 30 to rebuild. I built 1.0 of my program here and then worked with some clients for a few months, improved it, built 2.0, turned my ads back on, and then hit 80K. So this was 50, then I hit 80K a month, 5 months in, and then pumped the brakes, kind of like went back down to like 50, rebuilt the program 3.0, turned my ads back on. July I did 100, and then August I did 217. And then since then I've kind of been flowing like, I don't know, 100, 150, just kind of chilling, crank the ads down a little bit and just really focus on the back end. So now building out kind of like 4.0 plus team plus real client success systems. And then we're going to be able to absolutely scale the piss out of this and probably do some 500 months next year, in the next 12 months. That's the game plan. So nonetheless, though, at each stage, when you hit a plateau, when you hit a bottleneck in your capacity, most people just stay stuck here. They don't do anything. Each time I rebuilt the program, I added leverage and automation by making it better, making it more self-paced, adding more resources, better resources, so that my clients can get better results in a quicker amount of time with less of my individual time and energy, right? So this was like the course. Now it's more like team and systems, because I was able to kind of push it pretty far without much of that at all. I was just a one-man show, right? I just had a really good like acquisition system. This just did really well, and scaled ads hard. Middle funnel is disgusting. Had a setter, and then I just almost know what I'm doing, so I can get results like these ones. But nonetheless, it'll get to a point where I'm hiring a closer, right? Not right now. So if you are a closer, I don't want you. That's like, I don't have sales calls right now. They're like 20-minute calls. Just people just have a few questions. I want to make sure I can actually help them, that I actually like who I'm taking on too. They're not going to be a bad client, that they're actually going to be coachable and listen, because those that actually listen and drop their ego get the results like this. Like Juan's just he's like such a good client because he's literally just like done everything I told him to do, and he just takes action and just does it. He's got no ego. Same with Luke. Same with Sean. Same with like all these guys. Lee, same thing. Literally just like say, hey, what do? I tell him do this. He's like, okay, and then boom, record month, right? Like pretty straightforward. But nonetheless, that'll be probably one of the last things I offload. But yeah, really just like right now, kind of looking to systemize and streamline and kind of automate and delegate the back end a little bit more. So that way I'll be able to really, really push front end again, because I broke the whole system multiple times as I've been scaling, right? So that's kind of the name of the game. At each stage, when you hit a plateau, you have to add leverage to get to that next level, to make that transition from a freelance coach who is stuck, one-man show pretty much, right? You're just a glorified freelancer. You don't really have like a real business because it won't do anything without you there. You can't just like take a little honey to Italy or something for a week and not work, because then you won't sign any clients and make any money. And you're just gonna be stuck, inconsistent, unstable, unpredictable. Whereas over here, scaling hard, paid traffic, scalable delivery process, you're actually building a real audience, and you transition from like an operator to an owner, right? You're making a ton of money, like, and you don't need a massive team. Like Daniel's like, that makes us 3. There's 3 of us on my team now. And yeah, we're still doing some pretty nasty numbers. Margins are still very, very high. And I'm loving life. Because another thing too, one last thing I'll say, is that at each stage, like, well, when we start out, like we're kind of like a jack of all trades, right? We're wearing all of the damn hats. We're running our ads, like we're doing our traffic, we're making content, we're doing appointment setting, we're doing sales, we're doing coaching calls, we're building a course, we're doing finance and accounting, we're doing admin stuff, like we're client success manager, like we're doing all this shit, right? We're wearing a lot of hats. There's a lot of things to do. And when you got a lot of things to do, we've only got so much time and energy in each day. So that's why a lot of people say stuck, because they keep doing the boring little things that they could easily outsource, they could easily automate and stuff like that, right? So if we can kind of offload a lot of these things off of our plate, and guess what? What does that do for us? Like when we can automate traffic, when we can automate fulfillment, or delegate fulfillment, not delegate set-in, and like literally just like all we do is just run ads. When they stop working, just launch new ones. Once you understand, you have a really good idea of what makes really good messaging, how to create ads that attract qualified prospects that have a lot of money and like urgency to solve a painful problem that you can solve right now, then you have that skill for the rest of your entire life, which is invaluable. And then when you get this dialed in, you know how to make content that does all the pre-selling for you. Like you've got a money printer, and then you just kind of remove yourself from the sales process, sit back, relax. Juan's closer makes a little bit of commission, and Juan makes a whole bunch of money for doing absolutely nothing, right? So what that does basically though is like here we're an operator. We're doing all the shit. A lot of the stuff we suck at, a lot of stuff we don't like doing. And we basically like created a job for ourselves, right? These guys, 5 to 30K a month. Some guys doing 50. I've got a client that came to me doing 100K a month as a one-man show, sales coach. And he's like, hey brother, I want this. So I'm like, all right. So we're building that out with him right now. But that's how you make the transition from an operator to an owner, right? You stop doing all the tasks. You start to eliminate shit that doesn't do anything, and then automate things you can automate, and then delegate the rest. And then when you do this properly, you go from being so in the trenches, right? So in the trenches to working on the business. You're in the business doing everything versus on the business. You're leading a team, right? You're transitioning from like basically just like an employee, right? This is really all you are. You're just an employee of your business. And then you go from an employee to like an executive / owner / manager, right? And then when you get to a certain point, you're going to start having like a sales team where you've got multiple setters, multiple closers, even like multiple like client success or like coaches that a client success manager then leads and manages. So then like you could be managing the sales team, right? So it's like you And then you've got like closer, setter. And then all you do, you're not taking sales calls or setting, you're just helping these guys do their job a lot better, right? So you go from employee where you're doing everything yourself to a manager. And then eventually you kind of step up, plug like a sales lead in there. And then you move up here to like an executive level where you're managing the managers. And eventually you hire somebody to do that for you. And when you get really big and then you're an owner, then now you've got a real asset that just operates without you and just prints cash, right? And when you've got that consistency from ads, like in your traffic, this is like most people's like thing, right? It's like most people struggle with traffic. When you automate that with ads, you literally can just like Lee, whoops. You just can see how busy I am, right? When you do this right, your calendar doesn't have to be that busy. But when you're like Lee, you can literally just put $1 in and get 10 out. And he said, hey, Jeremy, what do I do? I said, increase your ad spend, double it from 50 a day to 100. And I wouldn't be surprised if he does 30 to 40K next month, even this month probably, right? But sometimes we see there's a bit of a lag time, so it might happen in December, which is fine. But nonetheless, this is something that I wish I learned before, because I've been working on this too, because it does keep me stuck. A lot of things, like the big reason why people don't make this leap, and there's a wall there, is because their ego doesn't let them get in the way. They kind of like, they're like, oh no, I can do it myself, which I had a tendency to do that. So I've been really working on that as well. And that's part of my development as an entrepreneur and as a leader. Understanding like, Jeremy, you don't know all the answers. You haven't done this before. You suck. You don't know anything. Find somebody who does. Find somebody who's done it before, and then pay them to help you do that. Because like the way I see it is like, I can only pay with my time or my money, and I can only get one of those things back, right? I can't get my time back. So if I want to help, or if I want to help myself get the business to higher levels and sustain them quicker, then why wouldn't I just use the cash that's sitting in my bank, losing value, that's worthless, to help me get there quicker, so I can make more money quicker for a longer period of time? Like it's literally like life's biggest cheat code. Just find somebody who's done the damn thing, tell you what the hell to do, and then just actually take action, drop your ego, and then just do it. Can't tell you how many times I've done that, and I just see massive periods of exponential growth. Right? So it's kind of a combination between adding leverage at each stage, so then you can unlock new levels of scale, and then also just getting out of your own damn way. Understanding where your shortcomings are. Like if you're not booking multiple calls like a day right now, if you haven't been like growing, you've been doing the same amount of income for the last 3 months, for the last quarter, like you're stuck. Some of you guys might need to hear that. You're not as good as you think you are at a lot of these things. So you haven't grown. That means you're stagnant, you're plateauing. Other people are blowing way past you. All your competitors are zooming right past you. Right? So that said, get some help. Get out of your own way. You'll be doing yourself, your team, your future team, your family, your future family a favor. So yeah. If you want to learn more about how I can help you implement all this and actually build leverage so then you can start getting results, hitting record months like Lee and Juan and Luke and Sean and everybody else in the program, then go check out the main video pinned to my YouTube channel. It is a full breakdown of literally this in a lot more detail. And I break down the modules in the program too. It's kind of like an anti-course, very short videos. I don't want to sit through 2-hour-long videos. There's like 20 minutes and tells you exactly what you need to do. No bullshit, no fluff, straight to the point. And there's a little bit of homework, and then you bring that to us, to me and Daniel, and we help you apply that, implement that, and then make a hell of a lot of money while working far, far less than you probably are right now. So that's you. Go watch that video. And then if you're ready to pay, you're ready to buy, you've got some cash and some money to set aside for ads, probably only like $1,000, $2,000 a month on ads, maybe. Really all we need to get started. And then once we get proof of concept, we scale from there. So once you are ready, book in a call, links in the description, and I will see you in the next video.